Amazing.
So we're gonna get started. First one, I'll start the timer, and then we're gonna get started with those stretches. The first one we're gonna do is we're gonna do that horizontal extension. And then if you want to, you're adding that wrist rotation. So make sure you're nice controlled, rotating the wrist. Halfway there, you're gonna rotate. So go ahead and start rotating opposite. Hello, Susan, good morning. We're just getting started with the warm up.
I found them.
Okay, so continue with that. The next one you're gonna do is you are gonna elevate overhead, and I'll display it right now. So go ahead and elevate above and rotate. Continue, and in about 5 seconds, you are gonna rotate opposite way, so clockwise or counter. So go, continue doing it from here. Now the next one you're gonna do is you're gonna do a seated overhead reach. So start with that right arm down and elevate overhead. And then the modification is across if you do have shoulder pain. Go ahead and rotate to the right side. Keeping that left arm down, whether you're going overhead or across the body. Okay. Next one you're gonna do is you're gonna move into our shoulders. For this one, you can either rise them up, whether you're a seated athlete or standing. Then you're gonna rotate back. Some people like the backwards motion if you're a hand cyclist or you're a paddler. You really want to engage those shoulders. So continue doing that motion, whether you're going backward or forward. Is that what? Oh, yeah. So keep going. Next one you're going to do, we're going to move towards now. And let me fix something. Oh. Next one you're gonna go into now is gonna be, you're gonna put those palms together and you're gonna rotate up and down. Modification for this is if you have wrist injury, you're gonna do one at a time. So make sure you're taking it nice and slow. Some people are really able to extend those wrists. We're all different in our range of motion. Make sure you're breathing. From here, the next one you're gonna do is you're gonna go into now bringing that left arm around, working on that full range of motion from the front side to the lateral side to the back side of the shoulder. Because today we are going to do exercises focusing on our rotator cuff, on our shoulder. Go ahead and start rotating to the right side. If you've started on the right, go to the left. And remember, modification for this, you just shorten that circle. So some people are really able to extend their shoulder, full range of motion. Good job. We're about halfway through the warm-up. The next one we're gonna go into is now we're gonna focus on our trunk. So those seated athletes, you can look at Justin. He is gonna rotate his trunk side to side, shifting weight. Those that are doing it standing or you wanna stand, you're gonna elevate. We're gonna start with your hips. Those big hip flexors, the quads, the hamstrings, you're gonna start rotating the hip. So whether you're doing a seated version or standing, it's just rotating the hips. We use our hips a lot in cycling. From here, go ahead and start rotating the opposite way. Good job, Justin. Good job, Susan. Good job, Frank. Good job, Vanessa, Jim. Next one you're gonna do is we're gonna move down to our knees. Whether you're seated for seated athletes, you can either manually move them, or if you have some movement in those knees, Make sure you stabilize them. So Junior, Justin, he's going to be showing that seated version. Though standing, it is really important. Same thing is you support the knees, and then you're just slowly rotating. A modification for this, whether you're seated, is you take one at a time and then you manually move it, or you just focus on that movement. Good job, Jim. Go ahead and rotate the other way, clockwise or counter. We got about a minute and a half. From here, now we're gonna move into our calf muscles. So if you're a seated athlete and you're able to reach, you can massage it. If you have your tool from the recovery program, you can do that. So massaging the area. If you have some movement in those legs, then you can do calf raises. Is another modification. For those athletes that are standing, you can do what's pointing your toes forward, and then you add a little lean and it stretches the calf muscle. It's another way to stretch the calf. You can actually put it on a counter or a step if you have one. Should never feel pain. It's the stretch of those two muscles that are in the calf. Go ahead and switch to the left leg. So whether you're doing calf raises, you're massaging. And the next one we're going to focus on for seated athletes, you're going to do a back stretch. So really reaching back. For those standing, it'll look the same. Now you're just adding that arch of the back. From here, in about 5 seconds, you're going to transition to a forward stretch. So go ahead and reach, keeping your body nice and flat. For those standing athletes, sit down. So nice squat, and then you're reaching out. It's working the glutes. And our last one today we're doing, it's going to be a chest stretch. So seated athletes or standing, you're going to open up all the way till you feel a stretch and come back. You're going to do 3 more. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're getting some water. Okay, so go ahead and grab some water. I'm going to go over the first circuit. Justin is going to set up his music in a bit if it's ready to go. So the first circuit today we're doing is going to be plyometric or cardio. I'm going to go over and show both modifications. Justin today will be showing seated. So the first one we're doing is seated X reaches. We've done these before, but this is a new version of it. So if you're a seated athlete, you are going to extend those or start those hands at your knees, and then you're reaching across from you, forming that X. You can add weights to these. I want you to really focus on that speed and the movement of your trunk. That is the first exercise. For those standing, you can always do those now. You can add steps to it. But if you want to challenge yourself or focus on a lower body exercise, you can do squats. There's a couple of variations for these. First one can be a squat on your chair, sofa, or whatever you are sitting on, if that's a modification you choose to do. If not, you can do half squats. And if you really want to challenge yourself, which Brooke will be doing today, she'll be doing squat jumps. So that's the plyometric. So those are the versions today. The second exercise, it's going to be crossover jack. So meaning you're going to have those palms facing the ground and you're crossing over, switching hands all the time. And if you really want to challenge yourself for seated athletes, then you can add that move back and forth, working on your cardio. Though standing, it'll be either a step to the side or you add the plyometric. The jump is now you're also crossing those feet. The third one is battle ropes that Justin will be displaying today. There's a couple. There's the drumming one that people like. There's now extending the arms, make sure that back is straight and you're swinging at the elbow level. They both work different areas. If you do the drumming, it's more now your forearm, extended arms. It's now the bicep, tricep also engaging the back. Standing, I want you to do a small squat, really lean forward, and then you are moving with that battle rope. Fourth one will be a crunch twist. So whether you have an item, if you're a seated athlete, make sure you're grounded, you're stable, and you're really following that item, engaging. If you're seated and you want to challenge yourself and you're able, you can lift your legs. You can go to the ground, rotating. Now, those that are standing can go down to a chair or can go down to the ground, and they're recreating that movement. And then those that really want to challenge yourself or wanted to do it standing, you are doing a knee twist. So Brooke will be doing all plyometrics today. You can do jumping ones and going fast. So that is the first circuit. Make sure you grab some water. Justin, you should be able to share screen or share your sound. So if you want to try it. So again, we're going to do the seated X reaches with the squat jump. So we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. First set of either seated reaches or squats. We got halfway there, 15 seconds. There you go. Good job, Susan. Keep good form. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. So we got 15. Make sure you're drinking water. Notice you're breathing if you have a smartwatch. Deep breaths, drink water. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. Seated reaches. So you're doing either the seated reach, halfway there, 10 seconds, or if you're Brooke, you're doing the plyometrics. 3, 2, and rest. Next one, it's gonna be those crossover jacks, whether you're stationary or you're moving. If you're standing, you are stepping. 3, 2, 1, and go. Twenty seconds. Good job. There you go, Frank. Make sure those arms are straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. 15 seconds. If you could lower it just a little bit, Justin. We're starting. 3, 2, 1, and second set. Biggest thing is make sure those arms are straight. They bend when they come in. Good job, Jim. Good job, Justin. Halfway there. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Next one is seated athletes, the battle ropes, whether it's the drumming, extended. Though standing, you can add the squat. And then fast movement, starting in 3, 2, 1, and work. I think Frank's part of a band. We just don't know it. But whether you're a seated athlete or doing it standing, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We got one more of those. Make sure you're drinking water. Deep breaths. Notice you're breathing. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and second set. So slow it down if you need to and work on the motion. That deep breathing. Now for cyclists, what you're working on is that anaerobic phase, is that power for burst. 10 seconds, good job. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Last one, seated athletes. Gonna be a seated crunch twist with an item or without. Standing, you could do knee twist, or you can go down to the ground or a chair. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. But make sure when you do this, just your arms, just swinging them back and forth, keep them straight, halfway there. If you follow with your head, it helps. It's the core, not the spine. And rest. We got one more. Starting in 10 seconds, make sure you're drinking water, notice you're breathing. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Go ahead and get started, not rest. 30 seconds. Remember, if you're a seated athlete, you can elevate those legs if you choose to go to the ground. Halfway there, 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. We got a minute and a half. That was the first circuit. Justin, if you want to stop the music real quick. We're going to go over our second circuit. So just go ahead and pause it, Justin. Second circuit today, it's going to be the strength circuit. So I'm going to go over the first seated ones. First one we're going to do for seated athletes is going to be windshields. Whether you make sure your weight, you're able to support it. You're going to start at ear level. You're going to move the right arm down to the chest. Jim asked about it last week. Really working on that rotator cuff. Now, those standing, there's a couple ones you can do. You can do for cyclists, if you want to work on your glutes, you please have a mat or carpet. You are going to do kickbacks. Now for that, what you're going to do is you go down on your knees. You're going to bring that left leg up and kick. You'll feel it in your glute muscle going back and forth. I will switch you on the second set. Now, if you have knee pain or you don't have a surface, you can do another one. You go on your back. Make sure your back is flat. Your feet are nice together. What you're going to do is you're going to do a glute bridge. You're going to bring those hips up, the bottom up, going back and forth. What that does, it's engaging the hamstring, which we don't use a lot. Usually it's our glute activated. So those are the options. Like I said, you don't have to go to the ground if you don't want to, but if you wanted to work glutes today. Second one we're going to do, it's going to be curls. So whether you have an item or not, you're going to start palms facing up. You're going to curl that up, rotating those wrists inward and down. Now, seated athletes or those standing, it will look the same if you're standing, shoulder width apart, shoulders are relaxed, bringing that weight nice and controlled. Third one today we're going to do, it's going to be for seated athletes. There's a couple variations. The first one, make sure if your seat's comfortable and you want to do this exercise, is a chair dip. You're going to place those hands, and then like Justin is doing right now, he is elevating his weight off the chair. It doesn't matter how you go. It's the fact that you're engaging the tricep with your own body weight. If you don't want to do that one, you can do overhead tricep extensions. Whether it's one weight, you're going to go behind your head, make sure those elbows are nice and tight, and you're bringing that weight forward. So that's a variation. There's a couple more. If you don't want to do overhead, if you have a band in your possession, Then you can do 90 degrees and you're just extending that elbow, flexing the tricep. Those are the 3 variations for seated athletes. You can also do these standing if you choose to. The hardest or something on the ground for those that want to do it is a push-up. So make sure you have a flat back and then you're going down nice and comfortable, really engaging the chest and our triceps. And the last one we're doing today, for both participants seated, those standing or those who choose to do on the ground, your palms are going to face you. You're going to start at 90 degrees and then you're doing a press up. You don't want those elbows to drop below 90 degrees. So it's a reverse or underhand front raise. Those are the 4. We're going to get started in about 15 seconds. Justin, if you want to play the music, make sure you got your water ready. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Windshields, or you're doing glute bridges, or those glute kickbacks.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more.
15 seconds, halfway there.
That's where the party's at, and you find out if you do that.
5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We got 15 seconds of rest. Make sure you're drinking water. Breathe, whether you're doing a lower body exercise or upper body. Biggest thing is to focus on your form. 3, 2, 1, and second set. 25 seconds. Good job, everyone. Halfway there. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Second exercise, it's gonna be curls, the down curls. We're working the bicep muscle and our forearm. Starting 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and start. The challenge is when you go down, because a lot of us don't work out our forearms. Good job, Jim. Good job, Susan. Good job, Frank. Good job, Vanessa. I hope Brooke's working out. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we got 15. If not, it's okay. We always say she's working out from her bed. Starting in 3, 2, 1, second set. Biggest thing with this, with the dynamic movement, it's causing your body to do 2 different movements, including the rotation. It's focused on keeping good form, the shoulder relaxed, and isolating that bicep. And the downward movement is the forearm muscle. So almost, some people call them negative. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next one we're doing is seated athletes. You'll be doing either those chair dips, overhead triceps, or a push-up. Go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, and second set, or first set, I'm sorry. 20 seconds. Good job, Justin. He's doing the chair dips. If you're doing overhead presses, just be really careful if you're holding weight. I don't want to send a helmet, so you can use this next week when you do these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. You got 10 seconds. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You're focusing on your breathing. You're noticing your heart rate. Slow down the movement if you need to. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. So you can even do one weight at a time and isolate it. Or you can do it together. Halfway there. 10 seconds. Good job, Susan. 3, 2, 1. Good job, Jim. And rest. Last one. It's going to be those underhand front raises. We're really keeping those. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and go ahead and get started. So bringing that nice and down is widening as you come down and then shortening as you go up. Good job, Jim. Got Frank. There you go, Susan. Vanessa, Brooke. 10 seconds. Good job, Justin. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We got one more. You should be feeling it in your bicep, your shoulders. This is his PE. Virtual now. 3, 2, 1, and make sure if you're feeling it, then just slow down the movement. Drop the weights if you need to. Just focus on your breathing, on those reps. Halfway there. We're at 15. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. All right. We are done. So if you could pause the music, Justin, we're going to take a break. And next, we're doing circuit 3. We've done it before. We usually do 3 circuits. It's going to be boxing. First exercise you're going to do, whether you're a seated athlete or standing, seated athletes focus more on your trunk, on your arm movement. It's going to be hooks. You're going to bring that left hand across the face, almost like you're doing the top of a C. Same thing, you're going back and forth. If you want to, you can add head movement. Just have fun with it. Though standing, I take my left foot forward. I'm really light on my feet. And then now I'm ducking down, throwing those hooks. The second exercise, if you're a seated athlete or standing, it's going to be a 1. It's going to be a 1, 2 of jump rope. And then at the third one, you're crossing. 1, 2, cross. 1, 2, cross. For seated athletes, standing, the same thing. It's 1, 2, cross, 1, 2. So just working, now focusing on that movement of the wrist, the shoulder, but then also crossing that plane. So 1, 2, cross. Now, if you don't want to do that, then just go ahead and jump rope, whether you're seated athlete or standing. Third one, it's going to be low jabs. So you're going to focus just right here on that movement. Right here, right on the bottom. You don't want to go on the top. You want to focus on the low. We're still engaging that bicep. So it's right here. Standing will be the same thing, but now it's just here, nice and low, right here, instead of coming up right at your height level. And the last one, as always, we always get a combination. You can make it your own, or you could do the one that we're doing. So it's going to be jab with the left, jab with the right. See the athletes, dodge, and then you're doing a hook. 1, 2, dodge, hook. So you can mix it up. If not, make it your own combination. Standing will be 1, 2. You can duck, you can move, and then you're bringing the hook. And I'll repeat them. Like I said, you want to make it your own. If you want to do this, I'll definitely not take you as my security, but make it your own. And if you want to get the music started, Justin, we're going to start with that third circuit with hooks. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so standing, just right here, find your rhythm. Good job, Susan. Good job, Jim. He's mad at someone. Good job, Frank. 20 seconds. The biggest thing too is breathe. As you throw that punch. Good job, Justin. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. All right. We got one more of those, 10 seconds. Make sure you're drinking water, stay hydrated. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and second set. Slow it down if you need to, or Susan, she's mad at someone. I think she's thinking of John. 20 seconds. Make sure you're breathing. Good job, Jesse. Good job, Vanessa. Good job, Brute. 10 seconds. Keep working. Good job, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Second one is going to be that 1, 2 cross. 1, 2. If you are standing, you can march or you can jump. Starting in 3, or not, just go ahead and jump rope if that's too much. Go ahead and get started. Or you can step, which is actually harder. I don't know what Susan is drawing, but it looks beautiful.
Uncoordinated is what I am.
Jim is uncoordinated as well. And rest. This one is a new movement. We never done it, but it just teaches you, not only now if you're adding legs, it teaches you to be multi-coordinated. 3, 2, 1, and second set. It's much harder to recreate it without a jump rope or an adaptive jump rope.
Imaginary.
Use your imagination. That's what we promote at Adaptive Adventures. Justin's got it. He's young. 3, 2, and rest. So go ahead and lower it a little bit, Justin. So 10 seconds.
AJ, can you call me back shortly? I'm in the middle of HIIT.
We're going to start with low jabs. Starting in 3,
Okay.
2,
Be safe.
1,
Bye-bye.
and start. Right here. Nice and low. If you're seated, just moving. Standing. Nice and low. You're adding that squat. 10 seconds. Good job. Keep breathing. Deep breath. Good job, Frank. Now, if you wanted to, you can add weights. Make sure you're able to, those wrist weights as well, and rest. We got one more. Remember, if you're adding weight, slow down the movement. Make sure you're able to handle those. You're keeping good form. 3, 2, 1, and second set. Remember, nice and low. Good job, Jim. Good job, Frank. Good job, Vanessa. Good job, Brooke. Good job, Justin.
I'm a classic man. You can be me when you look this clean. I'm a classic man.
Halfway there, 15.
Like a young OG, I'm a classic man. Your knees get met by the street.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, last one. I'm testing your coordination more. It's going to be jab, jab, dodge, hook, or your own combination. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. You got it, Susan. Don't worry, this isn't recorded.
Good.
We will use it for our promotional videos. Jab, jab, dodge, hook. Or just make it your own. Have fun with it. Good job, Frank. 3, 2, and rest. We got one more, and we get a break, and we have our final circuit. Good job, everyone. We're about 35 minutes in, starting in 3, 2, and last set of the circuit. Halfway there. Good job, everyone. Make sure you're breathing.
I'm a classic man. You can be me when you look this clean. I'm a classic man.
3, 2, and rest. All right, Justin, if you can stop the music. Now we're going to add, and Susan, I apologize because it's your first time, but we are adding a 4th circuit today.
Well, thank you.
It's
I
going
get
to
a
be
year
the
older, you
challenge.
add another circuit. I like that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
you are the newcomer. So it's going to be a challenge circuit. Justin selected these. He's like, let's pick the hardest ones. No, I'm just kidding. But he selected the 4 exercises. Jim has his angry face. So it's going to be the first one you're going to do for seated athletes is going to be either those chair dips again, the overhead tricep, or push-ups. You can choose. Now, as always, I always say you can replace it with any exercise you want. Any exercise will fit in here. If you want to work on something in particular, then by any means, make sure to replace it. Second exercise is going to be those curls to down curls. But I want you to focus on actually engaging that bicep when you come up. So now you're doing a slower motion. You're squeezing at the top, then you're rotating and going down. The third one is going to be those crossover jacks for seated athletes. And I really want you to add that trunk where you feel comfortable. And then those standing, you're adding the steps or you're adding the plyometric. And the last one today we're going to do is going to be those low jabs. So this one's quick. We already done these exercises. I want you to go all out, and then we go to our cool down, and we are done for today. So, Justin, if you want to play the music, make sure you're grabbing some water. Same thing. It'll look the same. We're doing it twice. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and get started. Push-ups, tricep dips. Halfway there. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We're going to do that one more time, whether it's push-ups, presses, or dips. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and second set. If you're doing those presses, keep those elbows nice and tight. You don't want them to flare out like this. You want them nice and tucked in. Halfway there. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and rest. Next one is going to be those curls, the down curls. Those cyclists, we have a lot. This is where you push yourself mentally, physically. Go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1. So you can do it fast if you choose to, but make sure you keep good form. If not, you're squeezing, controlling that downward movement. Make sure you're breathing. Good job, Susan. Good job, Jim. Good job, Frank. Good job, Vanessa. Good job, Brooke. Control the movement. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We got one more of those. Starting in 10 seconds. Visualize a beach or whatever makes you at peace. And get ready. 3, 2, 1, and second set. Make sure you have a big chest. That back is nice and straight. The shoulders are relaxed. Good job, Justin. Halfway there. I apologize for the music. This is the new generation. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next one is going to be those crossover jacks. Seated athletes, you can do it stationary, but I really will preach to do that movement. If you choose to do standing, you can do steps, or if you're Brooke, you're going to do plyometric. Go ahead and get started. Good job, everyone. Slow it down if you need to. Good job, Susan. 10 seconds. Good job, Justin. Good job, Frank. 3, 2, and rest. And if you really want to challenge yourself, then you can add small weights, but I wouldn't recommend it. We're starting in 8. This is our last circuit. It should be harder than the other 3. And go ahead and get started. So you're either adding steps, 20 seconds. This sounds like Chris Wiegand's playlist or Cycling Manager.
I don't know. I think it's getting worse than Chris's.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Last one. It's going to be those low jabs right here. Starting in 10. Make sure you're drinking water. Notice you're breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go ahead and get started. If you're standing, go ahead and squat. If you're seated, just find your rhythm. Make sure you're breathing. Good job, everyone. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. We got one more. We're going for 35 seconds. You are challenging yourself. So get ready, drink some water. Starting in 5, 4, and remember, like I said, slow it down if you need to. Second set, and go. So nice, good breathing. Work on that inhale, that exhale. Now you're putting it all together. And 15 seconds, I'm sorry. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are done. All right, Justin, if you want to pause the music, get some water, then we're going to jump into the cool down section. So if everyone's ready, we are going to start off and end with breathing. So put those hands together at your own pace. Deep breath. Exhale when you're coming down. So keep doing it. You're going to do 3 at your own pace. And I want you to focus on the inhale and the exhale. Really exaggerate it. Get comfortable with breathing. We use it in cycling, climbing, paddle sports, all sports that we do and we participate in. Breathing plays a major role in it. Okay, once you get your 3, we're not going to take that left arm across the body, but the right hand, feel comfortable. Make sure you're looking forward. That stretch of the tricep. And everything you do is focus on your breathing. Deep breath. The goal is to really get that heart rate down. So Susan, when Chris talks about getting to that zone 1, just getting it down. High intensity, go ahead and rotate. What it does is spikes our heart rate. We work out in less time. And it's really beneficial from research that's come out. But it also teaches us to get into different energy phases of what we're working out. Now you're going to relax those arms. Go ahead. If you're a seated athlete, just reach. If you're standing, same thing. Just reach as far as you're comfortable. You're going to feel a stretch in those glutes, the hammies. The back's going to work. That skeletal system. Go ahead and come back. And that go into a lean, whether you're standing or seated. Remember, you don't have to put those hands. You could just arch the back if you do have shoulder injuries. From here, at the left arm, relax the right. And notice your heart rate. Thank you today, Justin, for helping out and joining and getting to do a cool project that I wish I would have done in school. So make sure you're balanced. Please do not fall. You will be recorded and we will use it for media. Next one we're going to go into is if you're a seated athlete, put that left hand on your chair and then slowly rotate the spine. If you're standing, it's the same way. You'll just put the hand on the hip. That arm will follow. You rotate. Make sure you know your range of motion. Go ahead and now rotate to the right. Take a deep breath. About 3 seconds. We're going to focus on our shoulders. We're going to start with T's. So hands are at the side, whether you see they're standing. Go ahead and elevate to shoulder level. Come back down. You're going to do 3 of these. As you rise up, you're expanding those lungs. Get your 3. Here, you're going to go forward, front raises. Nice and controlled. Once you get your 3, next one you're going to go into is you're going to go into a W. So come up and those arms bend. Nice and relaxed. Get 3 of them. Good job, everyone. Next one we're going to do is focus on our neck area. So now what you're going to do is take that, your head down to the chin, move the chin up, and then go back to neutral. So just looking forward. We want to stay away from this movement backwards. It's bad for our neck. So chin just comes down. Inhale as you're down there, and then slowly rise up to a neutral level, back to looking forward. You're going to do a set of 5. Really slow on this movement. It's our necks. We really got to be careful. We got 1 more. Now you're going to add a rotation. So I want you to start with your left arm extended. Move it. As you feel comfortable, the right hand will follow. Your neck will follow. So move it back, the right arm, the left one, open it up again. And you'll start noticing the more you do this, your flexibility, that range of motion will start to begin to open up. Once you get your 5 in this side, you're going to rotate to the right. Go ahead and start to the right. So you can do it hands together. Some people like it that way. Some people like individual. Both work, but you'll start noticing which shoulder is tighter, which is more flexible. Once you get your 5, we're going to now focus on our lower body. So whether you're a seated athlete, you're going to manually take those knees, the thighs are going to open up. You can either move your legs with your hands. If not, if you're able to have some movement, and then you go down in this position, you open the hip flexors, which are really used in cycling. If you have a recumbent trike, if you're upright. Now, if you are standing and you choose to, you just what called it's in a deep squat. Same thing, you open up. You're really working on those hip flexors. So both work. Go ahead and rise up. Or if you're seated, relax. You're now going to go. If you're a seated athlete, I want you to shift weight to the right side. Either manually move the leg, or if you're able to move it, and you're going to bring that leg behind your chair. Nice and comfortable. This is another way to stretch on your chair. Now, those that standing, you can do 3/4 of a lunge, or you can lean forward, really engaging the quads, stretching out the calf. Both work. Seated athletes, go ahead and shift weight, either manually, or if you have some movement, bring that leg back. Really big chest, leaning forward, stretching. Or you are lunging. Nice, good lean. Deep breath. Good job, everyone. Next one we're going to go into is the last. We have 2 more. It's going to be if you're a seated athlete, bring those hands at your knees. You're going to go down all the way where you feel comfortable. If you're able to touch your toes in the seated position, if not, it's okay. Now standing, you are just gonna go down in a static motion, so no movement. Really reach down, engaging those hamstrings. Both work, whether you're seated, you're going down, or you wanna choose to do it standing. So we got 5 more seconds. Take deep breaths. Go ahead and rise up. Our last one we're gonna do is our breathing. So start with those palms facing out. You're gonna rise up. Deep breath. Exhale. Go at your own pace. You're gonna do 5 of these. Some of us have different lengths of what we breathe. Three, we got 2 more. And we're gonna get our last one. And we are done. Stop your timers if you're using them.